Hey guys, I'm Olivia. Today I wanted to sit and talk and explain what it's like going through sorority recruitment. I go to the University of Arizona. I'm about to go into my junior year. I wanted to just talk about what the process is like, my experience throughout it, because mine is kind of unique. I'll tell you all about it. And I just wanted to give you some tips and helpful hints that may help you, whether you are coming to the U of A next year or you're going anywhere. Sorority recruitment is a pretty big deal if you make it that. I don't know, some people make it a lot more than it is, but it also is really important because you're finding your home away from home, and those girls that could end up being your bridesmaids or your best friend. Going through is like really exciting and really emotional, but I just wanted to tell you how we do it here at U of A, and it's probably pretty similar wherever you're gonna end up going to school. I just wanted to sit and tell you all about it. So I'm gonna start out by telling you what the step-by-step process is here specifically at the U of A and how we do recruitment, just the overall basic view, and then after I do that I'll tell you my experience. So recruitment here is a week-long process, and it happens the week before school starts. So you'll move in on most likely Saturday before school, and recruitment starts on Sunday. That Saturday night or evening, you're gonna meet with your recruitment group. Those are the girls you're gonna be with throughout the whole week, and you're gonna have a recruitment counselor, and that person is going to be your person you go to if you're having an issue, if you're conflicted between houses, if you just aren't sure what to do. That is the person you're gonna go to, and they're gonna give you your best advice. This person, a recruitment counselor, some schools might call them ROGAMAs or ROGAMs. I've heard people say that. So here we call them recruitment counselors or RCs. So your RC is someone who has disaffiliated from their chapter. They know what it's like, the ins and outs of being through recruitment, and they've been on the inside, they've been on the outside, they've been in your shoes, so they are there to give you their best advice. That is the person you are going to just go to if you need something that entire week. You're gonna meet that person on Saturday. They're gonna just tell you a little bit about the week, but then Sunday morning, you're gonna wake up bright and early, get ready, and you are going to start the process. You'll meet wherever your recruitment counselor or where your group is meeting that day in the morning, and every group sticks together for the first 2 days, which is all set one. So there's 12 total chapters, and each day, so Sunday and Monday, day 1 and day 2, those chapters will be split among those days, so 6 and 6. So on Sunday, you and your entire recruitment group will go to 6 of the houses. Set 1 is the most like casual. So this is the most like general round of rush. And so in this round, you're really just getting to know the house and the girls you're talking to, and they're doing the exact same thing. They want to get to know you, and they want to know, is this girl gonna be a good fit for our house? It's hard to explain because all of the houses have very unique girls in like the best way possible, and every house has their different group of girls. Most likely wherever you end up, you will find the people you want to be best friends with and your bridesmaids. When you're going through rush, you kind of get a feel of what the house is like depending on who you're talking to, and you'll talk to about roughly 3 to 5 girls during that time, and it's a very quick, it doesn't feel rushed, but it's kind of rushed, and you're just getting to know the girl you're talking to and getting a feel for the house. And when you leave, you just want to make a note like, okay, I like this house, I didn't like this house, I like this specific girl, and I didn't like this girl. But just because you don't like one girl in a house doesn't mean you're not gonna like the 300 other girls in the house. So you just really can't base that on your experience, but you just have to look at it as an overall picture, because wherever you end up, you're gonna find your group regardless. So that is set 1, and that's day 1 and 2. You do the same thing to all 12 houses. So at the end of set 1, so it'll be Monday evening, you and your group and the rest of the girls rushing will vote on your top 9 houses. So you saw 12, but you might not have liked them all. You have to vote your top 9. These are the houses that like you would be happy to get back, and you like them, you want to get to know them, you want to see them the next round, you want to meet more girls in that house. When you do your voting, you have to pick your top 9, you also have to pick your bottom 3. Now these bottom 3, you have to keep in mind, they'll tell you this, but those bottom 3 aren't like, oh, I'm done with these, like I never want to go back. Those bottom 3s, you vote them as 1, 2, and 3, and those will be your like backups. So say one of your top 9 didn't ask you back, which is okay, they just didn't see what they were looking for, and that's not a bad thing, because, you know, they know where you should be. As crazy as that sounds, like, so like when I was going through recruitment, some of the houses and I talked, and I might have had a great time, and they might have been super nice, and you might have thought, oh wow, that was really great. But they might be like, you know, this girl was super cool, super sweet, but I think she would be really good in a different house. And that's totally okay, because that's looking out for your best experience, and it just all makes sense in the end, I promise. So those bottom 3, you vote 1, 2, and 3, and so if one of those top 9 decides not to ask you back, one of your 1, 2s, or 3s will now bump up. But they could be 3 of your bottom houses, but that's not bad, because you want to go back to those houses because maybe you missed something. Maybe you meet someone, you're like, wow, that's actually the person like that I think I could be friends with forever, and you might realize that your bottom house turned into your top house, or vice versa, or whatever. And so that is really important, to keep an open mind. So you do that, and then the next morning, Tuesday morning, you wake up, it's set 2, day 1 of set 2. Set 2 is now philanthropy. So set 2 is also divided into 2 days, because you could get up to potentially 9 houses back. Now, if you don't get 9 houses back, it's okay. I didn't get 9 houses back, and at first I was like, ugh, that kind of sucks. But you just have to realize that if those houses are like on the fence with you, you kind of have to be like, you know, there's probably a reason that they didn't see me there, and I have to be thankful that I am now focusing my attention and energy on houses that actually want me. And so you just have to keep that in mind. So Tuesday morning comes, so set 2, okay, set 2 is philanthropy. So every house across the nation, all sororities, I believe fraternities as well, all have a philanthropy. They all raise money for something that's good in the world. So every house has that charity that they donate to. So we'll have events throughout the year, and all the money raised goes towards some kind of awareness or research. And so that's what set 2 is all about. So you go back to your houses, potentially up to 9. If not 9, that's all right. You go back to however many houses you got asked back to. And this day is designated to telling you about the philanthropy. Now, when I was going through recruitment, I was a little unsure of what philanthropy even was. They tell you what their specific one is, why it's important to them, the history behind it. But yeah, that's what this day is dedicated to, but also it's dedicated to getting to know you better. The rest of the time is also about you and them getting to know each other. You don't have to talk about philanthropy the entire time, because there's only so much you can learn. Really great to learn about their cause and what they're passionate about, but they're also looking for what you're passionate about. So it's okay if you have no idea what they're talking about, but it's your time to learn. And it's also your time to get to know the girls better and have a feel for the house you're in and really just embrace it. So then at the end of set 2, at the end of the philanthropy days, it's just like at the end of set 1, you'll go and you'll vote, and you'll go from, okay, so the people who have all 9 houses will now go down to 6 houses max. So say you have under 6 houses after that first round, then you'll just go back to all of those houses, and it's super simple. If you do get all 9 houses back, then you'll just go down to 6. So you'll do the same voting process, and so then at the end of the day, you're done. Set 3. Set 3 is 1 day, and set 3 is so much fun because set 3 is house tours. And personally, I love the houses. All of them. They're all so beautiful in their own way, and it's so cool to just go through the house and see it, because you can really learn about the girls, and you get to see the rooms and what they look like and all the uniquely decorated ones, and it's just so much fun. Okay, so at the end of set 3, this is where it becomes the hardest for a lot of girls, because you'll go and you'll vote just like you have the past 2 sets, and if you have up to 6 houses, you now have to trim your list down to 2 houses. If you only have 2 houses or 3 houses, then that's totally okay too. You pick the 2 that you liked the best, who you wanted to learn more about, and you wanted to feel for the girls, and you just really want to get to know them. Now, when girls have all 6 houses, this is their like hardest decision, because it's really hard to go from 6 houses to 2 houses, because okay, I love 4 of these houses, how am I supposed to only pick 2? This is where the girls in the houses kind of help you, because you'll vote your top 2. Those top 2 that you wanted may not have felt the same way about you, which again isn't a bad thing, they're looking out for you. Then your other ones will get bounced up. Now, that's not always a bad thing, but some girls might not be so happy about some of the houses they have left, but you just have to keep an open mind, and you just really have to be respectful in all the houses you go in. And you could be going to one house all week and just be like, I just don't love this house, and that's okay. Everyone's gonna have that house that they were just not really in love with, and that's all right. But you have to still go. You still want to meet the girls, because something that everyone always says, Pan-Hellenic love. We all love all of the chapters on our campus, regardless of where you go. You all should be nice and respectful to each other, because you're all in the same community. You just are in different houses, and that's totally okay, but you should all love each other. And all houses are amazing, and all the girls are unique and so sweet, and you'll find that. But if you don't love one house, that's okay. You're not supposed to love them all. That's why you narrow it down to one at the end. But you should still be happy and respectful to the houses that are asking you back. But you do your voting, you go home, and then Friday we get a day off. So Friday there's no recruitment. This is the day to just kind of have a breather, relax, maybe get to know the people on your floor if you're living in the dorms, or just get to know the girls in your rush group, and it's just a good day. So Saturday is your last day of actual formal recruitment. Saturday is preference day, or pref. You go to your top 2 houses. This is your day to really get to know the girls you're talking to. So depending on what house you go to, every house has their own kind of preference ceremony planned, and it's all very different, but it all has the same idea. So it's very ceremonial. Most likely you'll talk to one girl the entire time. You'll go to the house, and that one girl will pick you up at the door. You sometimes will have talked to this girl already. Sometimes you might not know the person you're talking to. You could have either situation, and both are going to be just as amazing. So you'll go into your house, and as I said, all houses are different, so I can't really say what happens, but you'll talk to this girl for, I believe it's like maybe 30 to 45 minutes. I'm not really sure, and that could be wrong, but it feels kind of long. But there's a ceremony, and the girls are just really showing you and welcoming you into their home, and they just really want to get to know you. And this is the day where you, as a potential new member, someone on the outside, is really getting a feel for the house that you might be in for the next 4 years. So the houses you go to, you really have to sit and think. You have to be like, which house do I see myself in more? And you really just kind of have to have that feeling. You just have to have that understanding, and you have to figure that out. So preference is really emotional. The girls get sentimental and emotional, and because you might be sitting in that house, and you might be thinking to yourself, oh my god, like this is the house. This is the house I'm going to spend my next 4 years in. And it's gonna be the girls that I'm gonna be spending all my time with, and that's a really cool feeling, and that's what preference is for. So once you're done with the preference, you'll go and you'll vote as normal, and you'll vote for your number 1 and number 2 house, and that's what it's like. You just do 1 and 2, and sometimes this is really hard for people. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes you might just be like, this is the house for me. That is the house I'm going, and that might be really exciting, because that's a great feeling. You just be like, that's where I'm gonna be, and that's great. If you are tossed up between the 2, and you're like, I don't know which one I love more. I love them both equally. I see myself in both. Talk to your RC, because that person can give you the best advice that they can. They'll ask you all these questions, and you'll be able to figure out, okay, I think that's the house that I want to be in. So you vote on Saturday. Next day you wake up, and it's bid day. It's the most exciting day of the week. So we go to our McHale Center, our basketball arena, and you go in, you meet with your group, you all sit together, and you get a manila envelope, and it's really exciting because you get to figure out what house your RC is in, and they all reveal, and then you get to open up your card, and you see the house you're in, and you're so excited. Girls were crying tears of happiness. Occasionally you may be upset, and it's really hard to experience that feeling. But my best advice in that situation, if you happen to not get the house you were obsessed and loved, and you felt like that was the house for me, I recommend 1000,000,000% go to bid day regardless. If you just go to bid day. That's all I can say. I'll explain more when I tell you about my experience, but I'm gonna tell you to go to bid day, because that is if you don't love that house and you still go to bid day, that can give you more clarification, because who knows, you might go and your bid day buddy might be there and be so excited and might love you, and you might love them, and you might be like, oh my gosh, this is the house for me. Like, I almost didn't come. And that's just something you have to experience on your own. And then if you do get the house you love, then it's super exciting. You jump up and down and you're like, yay, and then you run to the bus and you get on the bus and you go to bid day, you meet your bid day buddy, you have a great time, and the rest is history. And that's what the experience is like. And yeah, So I'm gonna try to make my half as short as possible. I'm just gonna give you a little what I went through. So, as I said, I'm going into my junior year, but I actually rushed as a freshman and as a sophomore. So, when I rushed as a freshman, I thought I knew everything. I did so much research going into it. I was like, I like these 3 houses, or I like all these, and I don't like these, and I whatever, and I thought I had it all figured out, but I didn't. I didn't have any of it figured out, and I'm really glad you're watching this video because this is good advice, but don't have preconceived notions about houses and be like, that's the house for me before going through recruitment, because your entire world will change when you go through recruitment, and you don't want to be thinking that you're going to go a house and then either go that house and be disappointed, or go through that house and be like, why did I think that? It's just don't do it. You should watch all the videos and those, because those are so much fun and they're so cool, and you see all the girls and they're all happy and they love their house and it's all that, and that's so fun, but don't base your recruitment experience on those and all of your research. But I'm really glad that you're watching this video because all of the things I'm telling you is really important to know. I honestly in high school didn't have the best GPA, and so I knew that that was going to be a factor. They warned me about that, but if you don't have a great GPA, you should still go through recruitment because you never know what's going to happen. Sometimes some houses may overlook it, some might not, but that's totally okay because wherever you end up is where you're supposed to end up regardless, and it's just so hard to emphasize that. But so I would go through recruitment and my GPA wasn't great, so I go through set 1, and you know, I didn't get a lot of houses back, and I kind of expected that because GPA is really important in set 1. So when I didn't get S back, I was like, I kind of expected this. I was really sad. I cried, and my RC was like, Olivia, you gotta keep going. You gotta keep going to your houses. You gotta figure it out. Like, you have great houses left. Go. And so I was like, okay, you're right. So I go and I fall in love with a house, and of course it's really great. I'm going through like every set. I'm keep getting asked back. I'm like, this is really great. This is really great. Keep in mind, I still have 2 other houses that I'm going to, and I'm talking to the girls, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm not going these houses. I'm going the other house. And these are the things this is my mistake that I'm trying to tell you not to do, because you want to look at each house equally regardless of what you think you're going to do, because that might not work out. So I am going through recruitment and I have 1 house in mind. The other 2 are just kind of background. They're just whatever. I'm going through, I get to pref. I have my top 2 houses. I only want the 1. I'm like, I'm going this house. It doesn't matter what's gonna happen. I'm going this house. I get to bid day, I open my bid day card, and I didn't get that house. I didn't. And I thought the entire week, I was like, I'm going this house. It doesn't matter. They're gonna ask me back. I've made it this far. They're gonna ask me, and I didn't get asked. And so I was devastated. Like, I was just shocked. I was like, why wouldn't they have asked me back? And you know, to this day, I'm like, I still don't know. I tell myself it's because it just came to my GPA. My GPA just wasn't as good as they wanted it to be, so they had to let me go, and that's all right. The thing is every day it makes more sense to me, just for my own personal reasons. But the thing is that I got a bid that day. I got a bid from my other house, and I didn't want to go. I didn't go. I talked to the RCs, I talked to people on Panhellenic, and I told them, and I was like, I'm really sorry, like, my head and my heart was somewhere else this entire week. I was like, I'm not going to bid day. I appreciate the offer, but I mentally, physically, emotionally was not there. I was like, I can't go because I know I'm not gonna be happy. Now, this is where I'm kind of thinking that's my mistake, because if I would have gone, I may or may not have fallen in love, and I may or may not have realized that that house was for me. Who knows? And so I left the arena that day, and I wasn't in a sorority, and I was very, very upset, and because I didn't have any friends yet, and I figured if I were to have friends, they probably were all at their bid days right now. So I went back to my dorm, and I was just really sad, and I just cried. I did. It was sad. It was emotional because I didn't do what I thought I was gonna do. I thought I was gonna have this great recruitment experience, and I just didn't get that freshman year. I go through freshman year without being in a sorority, which was a blessing in disguise because I met my best friends, and they're all in different houses, so it's great because we're all unique. We're all in different houses. We're all best friends, and it's great. But I didn't get that freshman year sorority experience. Now, I did get to live through my friends because I got to go to their events and their houses for meals, which was super cool and really great, but I didn't get my own, which to this day I'm not really that upset about, but I always wonder what could have been. So now sophomore year comes around. Now, I'm also gonna say freshman year, I didn't do that great in school because I didn't have a lot of motivation. Well, after knowing that I didn't get a house, I was like, I'm gonna rush again next year, like for sure. So going through my freshman year, I was like, I need to get good grades. Like I need to get a better GPA because then I'll have a better chance of getting in the houses that I love, and I know that's such a big deal. And so of course the back of my head was like, get good grades for recruitment, but what I actually did was just kind of didn't do my best, and I didn't put my full effort forward, and I went out, not in a bad way, I wasn't a crazy party animal, but I didn't really have my priorities straight, which I wasn't a bad kid, I'm a good kid, but I just didn't get the best grades I could have, so that kind of sucked. But I still had a great freshman year. So I come to sophomore year, and I'm aware my GPA still isn't as great as I could have made it, which kind of sucks because now I know that the same thing could happen. So I go through the experience, great, go through set one, don't get that many houses back. I'm like, what's new, whatever. I'm upset because I was like, my second time I thought it was gonna be better, but it wasn't, but it's okay. And I go through and I experience all the houses that I have, and I figure them out for who they are, and I get to know the girls. And what I kind of anticipated but wasn't 100% sure about is the house that I ended up having all week was the house that gave me a bid freshman year. Now, I had a lot of guilt inside of me for not accepting that bid because I was like, these girls are gonna hate me. I was like, they're not gonna want me. Like, I turned them down, and I just was so thankful that they kept giving me another shot, and they were like, she's back and we want her. And I told one of the girls in the house what happened because she happened to be in my recruitment group freshman year, and so she kind of knew that I was going through this twice. So I told her my experience and what happened, and I told her, I was like, I love this house. It took me an entire year to realize it, but I know that this is most likely where I'm supposed to be. And she understood that. I was thankful because they kept giving me a second chance. They kept asking me back, which every time I was like, what if they don't want me because they're scared that I'm gonna turn them down again? It's a bad thought because they really could have. Luckily they kept asking me, and luckily I got that bid, and I went to bid day and I met some amazing people, and here I am. I survived my sophomore year in a sorority, and I have an amazing big and friends, and it's great, and I'm gonna be living in the house next semester. I'm not gonna tell you what house I'm in because I don't want this to sway you, but if you find me on social media, it's not gonna be hard. I'm not hiding it, but I just want to let you guys know a few pieces of advice. This is what I have for you. First, as cliche as it sounds, you're gonna hear it about a million times, but trust the process because it actually works. I was skeptical, but here I am. I'm a living, breathing proof that the process works regardless of what happens. Just follow what you think is right. If you love a house, go for it. And if things don't go as planned, keep going, keep giving everything a second shot, because if that house you open up on that card on bid day, if you open it up and it's not the house you thought it was, go to bid day, because you might be really sad on the bus ride there, but getting off that bus and having someone at the other end with your name looking for you with a huge smile on their face is like an amazing feeling, regardless of if you want to be there or not, because that person is going to give you so much love and so much attention, and they're just going to tell you how happy they are to see you. And you know, it might take a couple weeks to get used to, and I'm not telling you that whatever house you get is the house for you, it's perfect for you. I'm telling you that you should give it as much of a chance as you can, because it may take you a couple weeks to get used to it, to make some friends. You just have to go to the house, go to meals, make friends, talk to anyone and everyone. It doesn't matter if they're a senior and you're a freshman. Get to know them because they want to get to know you too, regardless of if they're graduating at the end of the year. So I'm just gonna say that you should do your best to go to the house and learn more about the house and the girls in it, because you will learn that that's actually the house for you. And if for whatever reason you think that it's not the house for you and you're just not falling in love with it, then that's okay too. You have the right to no longer be a part of the house. All the girls are gonna be sad to see you go if you get to know them, but everyone has their own opinion, and you might not love the house you get, but you should at least give it a try, because you could learn to love it and meet that there's really fantastic girls in every house. I just want to say that wherever you end up is where you're meant to be, but you may not love it. You should really try. If not, it's okay, but it makes sense when you understand it. And that everything happens for a reason. So if you don't get in the house you love, or you get dropped from a house during one of the sets, it's okay, and the houses you have left on your lists are where you're supposed to be, and you just have to learn why. It took me an entire year to realize that the house that I'm supposed to be in is the house I'm supposed to be in. I got offered that house twice, and it took me the second time to realize that it's actually the right house for me, and that's where I'm supposed to be, and the people in the house are pretty great, and you just really have to take time to learn that. But again, everything happens for a reason. Good luck with going through recruitment. I hope to see you on the inside, and if we end up in the same house, that's really great. If you watched this video, I'd like to know. Follow me on my social media. I really hope the best for you, and I hope you love where you end up, and I hope that it's a really great process for you, and if it happens not to be, just know it's not the end of the world. I've been there, we've all been there, we've all had our upsets. It gets better, it really does. And if for whatever reason you don't end up in a house your freshman year, or you're on the fence about being in a house or going through the process at all, give it a shot. You can stop at any point. I think it's a great learning experience. You learn more about yourself. It's a really great process and experience, although it may be hard and stressful, but good luck, and thank you for watching. I hope to see you again sometime soon. Bye.
Going.